everyone, welcome to me setting up my very first bujo or bullet journal in a very long time. So if you didn't know, I was super into bullet journaling in college, but after I graduated and after I moved out, I didn't have enough time to bullet journal, and I didn't feel like I needed a creative outlet like the one that bullet journals provide at the time. But now we have come full circle, and I think I kind of need one again, mostly because of the creative outlet, of course, but for also mental health reasons. So this first spread that I'm setting up here is my year at a glance. I'm using these acrylic stamps with, I guess, rubbery silicone stamps to create my year at a glance. No! This is a disaster! Oh no, look, I smudged it here too. Oh, okay, I'm a disaster. That's what we've learned today. But as you can see, I did not play around with the stamps enough before I started using them, and thus I messed up with the stamping process a little bit. So I was a little creative, and because I had already stamped down a bunch of stuff onto the page, I instead used these pieces of craft paper to create the months instead. Oh, and another disaster is coming up in 3, 2, 1. Oh no! Another one of my tape runners ran out of tape. I cannot believe. Okay, I'm down to my last resort. So yes, in my last video, in case you missed it, 2 of my tape runners ran out of tape. And lucky for me, I had a weirdly large reserve of tape runners, but another one has run out of tape. So I'm down to my Muji tape runner and a tape stamp sort of thing. But that's okay. I'll find the refills one day. But yeah, it was a nice fix to the mistake that I had made. I liked being forced to get creative with what I had in order to fix my mistake. So one thing that I really like about the letter stamps is that you can kind of put them all, willy-nilly like I have here, and make this kind of wonky script, so to say, kind of like a drunk typewriter. And I really liked this after setting up this spread, so you can see that I actually continue this for the rest of this bullet journal setup. The next pages are my daily affirmations page, which is just a bunch of daily affirmations from a website that I really like that I wrote down so that I don't have to go onto the website every single day. I did that a really long time ago just because I really needed to have that written down. And then the second page is my 2020 accomplishments page. Sorry, I stumbled over my tongue with that. I just made this page because I did a lot of cool stuff in 2020 and I completely forget about it most of the time. And so I wanted to add it as a sort of positive note, some nice things to look back on, even though 2020 was kind of an abomination. There were some nice things that came out of it. The next page is a master page for video ideas and blog ideas. That's mostly blank because I will fill it out as the days go on and I have more ideas. These spreads were directly lifted from My Life in a Bullet. I will link her video down below. But yeah, essentially I just continue with the drunk typewriter stamp pattern, I guess, and add a little bit of branding on the bottom because that's what this page is all about, my social media brand. And then begins my March spread. So this is my March doodle-a-day calendar. If you haven't seen my other doodle-a-day calendars, essentially I just make a little doodle and note about something that happened during that day, as a sort of memory keeping thing, but also a way to draw and doodle and be creative at least once a day. And then my next spreads are my monthly spreads. So my March events calendar, which I have done in a vertical style. During the pandemic, the days don't really matter to me for the most part. It's more like the dates. The vertical calendar will work for me really well in March. And then I have my monthly goals and tasks, which I haven't filled out too much yet, but the gist is that I will set some big overarching goals for March that I want to complete, and then, mundane tasks around the house that I have to do, such as giving my dog his medication, making sure I pick up my medication, other things like chores and whatnot. So you'll probably see throughout the spread that I use a lot of stickers from Kitten Bun Supply Company, and that's no surprise because I super fell in love with their February release, which is the Let It Grow collection. And as the name suggests, this release is all about plants and letting it grow, which I think is perfect for my current mental health situation. I really need to grow. So I liked the bright colors and the cheerful vibe, the, personal care and self-growth, vibes that it gives off. And so that's what I mainly used for this spread. The washi tape is absolutely gorgeous. I know I say this every time, but Kitten Bun Supply really hits the nail on the head every single time with the gold foiling, y'all. Like, look at that. Gorgeous. And my last two spreads are my tracker spread. So the first spread is the mood tracker spread. You've probably seen lots of variations of bullet journal mood tracker spreads. I also have seen all those variations, and none of them have really worked for me in the past. I've actually never done a mood tracker before, mostly because I couldn't find one that I could either keep up with consistently or that suited my aesthetic fancy. So when I saw that Kitten Bun Supply had these mood trackers with little plants in them, I was so enamored. I think they're so adorable. And the gist is that every single day you fill out the planter with either a color or a pattern with something that is keyed to a mood. And so on one sheet of these mood tracker plants, there's 30 plants in total, and March has 31 days in it. So I tried to draw my own cactus, and that went terribly because I do not have the art prowess of Kitten Bun. So I just covered it up, and I will not be filling out a mood for the 31st of March. And the last spread is probably the reason why I got back into bullet journaling, and that is the habit tracker spread. If you didn't know, my mental health took a huge toll in January and February, and I think I'm starting to come out of it. No promises, but I really stopped taking care of myself during those months because I just wasn't in a place to think about myself. So I wanted to bring back the habit tracker because I need to take care of myself. These things need to become habits again. Drinking water, making sure I take my medicine, saving money, taking Diego to the dog park, all of these things I think will help me get back on track and help me at least take care of myself physically if I can't take care of myself mentally. And on that incredibly negative note, that is all of the spreads that I have set up so far in my bullet journal. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you're okay with all of this journaling content despite me being supposedly a booktube channel. Anyway, I hope that your February is good and that your March is better, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!